Ohio. Okay. Ohio. Do you have another district?
I thought I lost one of the medals. That was going to be bad.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to begin. Welcome to the spring 2016 DTM minting. That applause is not for me. The applause is for 5 people who have achieved the ultimate award that Toastmasters offers. Let me put this in a very numeric way. In order to become a DTM, it takes 786,576 minutes. That's a quarter or 3/4 of a million minutes that you are Toastmastering. And that's the minimum. How did you do that? How did anybody do that? What kind of person takes that much of their life and contributes it to a club that you get no reward for, that you pay for, and doesn't pay you back financially? In fact, the only thing pretty much we give you is this little medal. That shows commitment. That shows a willingness to invest in oneself in a powerful and significant way. Because you don't just invest in yourself, you are investing in everybody else around you. The nature of Toastmasters is that we give immediate feedback. Who's giving you that immediate feedback? The other Toastmasters. They are investing in you just as you invest in them. It is a critical point of Toastmasters that makes us different from college classes or from trying to do it yourself. That's why Toastmasters succeeds. That's why Toastmasters is the best way that I've ever heard of to learn public speaking and therefore leadership skills. Today we have 5 people that we honor for their commitment of 3/4 of a million minutes out of their lives. And we're going to introduce them individually. We're going to start with Mark Williams introducing new DTM Arthur Bird.
Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters, guests, dignitaries. I'm sorry.
The DTMs need to line up. Over there. Yeah. Because I forgot that. All the DTMs for the... All current DTMs. Yeah. If you get a DTM, go over there. I always forget something. Thank you. That's why you have 2 DTMs there.
That cleared the room. Jimmy Lee, aren't you? Still sure. Talk.
Now that half of the room is settled, but no. As I said before, good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters, guests, dignitaries. I introduce you a very interesting Toastmaster. I became a Toastmaster at the same time that this gentleman did, and I have to tell you, I was thoroughly impressed from day one watching this Toastmaster grow within the club, the area, district, and the division, or division and district. He earned his CCCO and Advanced Communicator Awards in short order. But I think that's mainly because he came to Toastmasters as a communications professional in the beginning. He worked for a television station in Youngstown as a content editor and a cameraman for 21 years. He also is a college instructor teaching communications at Youngstown State University. And he had done some time as a radio announcer back in Texas, right? Ohio. Was it here in Ohio? So Art Bird knows the business of communications. But what do we come to Toastmasters for? No matter what we have done as in our past lives, when we come to Toastmasters, we're coming to improve. We're coming to become better communicators. And I saw Art do that right in front of my eyes. I was right alongside of him. He's just like a brother to me. And when he asked me to introduce him for his DTM, I have to tell you, tears came to my eyes because I think Art's just a heck of a guy. And he's coached me through many tough times when I pushed through, that I didn't have to be at Toastmasters, but I was at Toastmasters because it helped me. And I saw you come to fruition and become one of the better speakers and our current president. And I just want to tell you, I think you've done a fantastic job leading us. And not only has he been club president, but he was also area governor and our VP of marketing. And I have to tell you, you've done a stellar job with everything that you've touched. Without any further ado, I could go on, but I want to invite you to take time out to shake this man's hand and tell him how special he is, because it's true. Not everybody becomes a DTM. That man over there should especially be a DTM. I'm glad to know him. He's like a brother to me. A fantastic man. I bring you Art Bird.
For not taking care of this before you came up and interrupting it. This is called the gauntlet. For those of you who are guests, they're going to hug and kiss the whole way down. Our next introducer is Pete Panwani.
The best leaders inspires greatness all around them. Madam DTM Chair, fellow Toastmasters, most welcome guests. When you visit the best clubs in our district, do you ever notice how one or two dynamic leaders inspires greatness among that entire club? Take Executive 408, a club I know very well. Here's a club for the last 15 years that has been the gold standard in the Distinguished Club program, contests, and open houses. When you ask any member of that club who their inspiration is, they point to the same man. They point to Mike Garrick. When you compete against the very best, do you notice how they bring out the very best in you? Missy Moore, my good friend, puts it best when competing against Mike. You might pull off the biggest win of your career, but more than likely, you will be Garricked. My club was in Mike's area for many years, and for the record, I've been Garrick more times than I can remember. Competing with Mike was always one of the biggest honors of my career. Anytime I shared the stage with him, I learned something. However, my favorite memory with Mike happened in 2010. We competed in a room the size of a closet. He took the international speech contest, I took evaluation. After that contest, Mike pulled me aside and he said, "Pete, let's take this all the way to district. You got it in you." When a 5-time district champion says that to you, you listen. The lessons that Mike taught me over those 2 months are lessons that I apply to Toastmasters, to my professional life, to my everyday life. He taught me that the real winner always needs to be your audience. That public speaking is not a skill, it's an art. And he taught me that the real trophy worth chasing is the experiences you learn. I can honestly say I would not be the Toastmaster I am today without Mike's influence. Mike, thank you for always inspiring greatness out of everyone you touch, including me. When you take a look at what Mike has accomplished, it will blow you away. 15 education awards, 5 district championships. Recently he sponsored an awesome club, and every leadership position he's ever held, his club was successful. All of these elements have one thing in common. They were built on a gold standard of communication and leadership excellence that you expect from Mike. And it should be the standard of excellence you should expect from any DTM. That's why today, the letters DTM have gained more significance, because we have an incredible man that's about to join our fraternity. It is with great pleasure that I introduce to you a man I am honored to call my fellow Toastmaster, my friend, my mentor, and a man who inspires greatness out of everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, Mike Garrick.
Ladies and gentlemen, repeat Panwani.
Madam DTM Chair, fellow Toastmasters, most welcome guests for the last time. The most effective leaders lead by example. When you look at your clubs, and you look at your club leaders and your district leaders, what kind of leader do you have? Let me tell you what Becky's clubs and Becky's areas receive from her. They receive a leader who doesn't care about doing a good job because she's too busy worrying about doing the perfect job. She's the type of Toastmaster that pushes herself beyond her comfort zone and always finds a way to make herself better. And finally, you have a Toastmaster who is well-rounded, and you can see that by how many times she's been promoted at Progressive and the beautiful young family she has at home. However, what blows me away about Becky is the example she leads even when the situation's tough. Let me give you a great example. 2011-2012, I was the area governor for a club, Chagrin Valley Toastmasters. Here's a club that wasn't distinguished in over 30 years. In fact, when I sat with them and said, "Let's be distinguished this year," one of the most experienced members in that club looked at me and said, "Pete, the Cleveland Browns have a better chance of winning the Super Bowl than we have." For the record, the Browns went 4-12 that year. One of my biggest regrets is that I couldn't help that club get over the hump. About 6 months after I stepped down as area governor, Becky joined that club. About a year later, she became the club president. Last year, Chagrin Valley Toastmasters became President's Distinguished. They did this because they followed Becky's example. I found that Toastmaster a couple months after Becky pulled off that impressive feat. I congratulated him. He said, "Pete, I couldn't have done it without Becky's example. She was the heart of our success." I couldn't disagree with him. In fact, I told him the next time the Browns fire their head coach, I'm sending in Becky's resume. I'm honored to call Becky a fellow Toastmaster and friend. However, this is the other thing that really sticks out to me. A DTM should be a Toastmaster that strives for communication and leadership excellence at all times. They should be willing to inspire and coach others to do the same. And finally, they should be the model of example of what every Toastmaster should be. That's why it's poetic that we are here today to celebrate Becky's DTM, because she doesn't just meet those expectations, she greatly exceeds them. Ladies and gentlemen, it's with great pleasure I present to you one of the classiest examples we have in District 10 Toastmasters, our newest DTM, Becky Richardson.
Tissue alert. The next two, if you don't cry at them, you've got a heart of stone. Leonard Taylor.
I have the most daunting task of today, because my wife is awesome. I just want to give you 3 points. I'm going to take this old school. I was born in 1966, and a musical group got their start for stardom. 5 brothers, the Jacksons, and I'm going to say one of their famous songs was ABC. I'm going to give you the ABCs of Deanna Moore Taylor. Attitude, belief, and courage. When it comes to attitude, it's all about service. She is very passionate about serving her people. As Northern Division Governor, last year her division was select distinguished. Belief. She believes in her own abilities as well as others, and that breeds hope. And she calls all her people in her entourage her leaders, because that's what they are, if they're emerging or experienced. And finally, courage. Courage, it takes courage to be a leader. This is hard work. This DTM thing is hard work. And she is fearless. I've seen her at a symposium down at Case Western Reserve, and she may be short in stature, but her communication ability is unmatched. And I'm not just saying that because she's my wife. It doesn't matter. This is her 4th go-around at this accomplishment. But learning is the motto of the day. We can always learn something. It's with great pleasure and honor that I present to you DTM, Deanna Moore Taylor.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, our District Director, Jenny Lee Taylor.
I was only going to cry at mine here. Madam DTM Chair, fellow Toastmasters, and honored guests. I knew from our first date that Todd Taylor was supposed to be a DTM. No, not because he fell into the stereotypical mold that every engineer falls into, but because he never stopped talking. Seriously, folks, 6 hours. Todd has this amazing ability to speak in any situation. From our first anniversary, where he made a tour of a wastewater plant romantic, to charming little old ladies out of their Werther's Original candies, to keeping me sane on a daily basis. which most of you know is no easy task. He is a devoted and compelling leader. As president of Cuyahoga Falls Toastmasters, he helped guide the club to President's Distinguished, their first full year of existence. And as an area governor, he was Select Distinguished. There is no role that he does not take head on with full dedication. Except maybe Joke Master, please don't encourage that. You will not like the results. I am constantly in awe of his talent of crafting award-winning speeches in under 15 minutes. He was even able to take the somewhat tedious speeches by management manual and turn it into an event. For each of the 5 speeches, he became Santa Claus, addressing the elves during times of change and growth. It was inspirational. Todd is quite the wordsmith, making every evaluation and table topic an experience. However, my favorite table topic will be always when he asked me to be his wife. I am lucky to call him my husband and proud to call him a distinguished Toastmaster. Please help me congratulate Todd Taylor, DTM.
The DTM award is given to people who complete the Competent Communicator Award, or Competent Communicator Manual, which is 10 speeches. 6 advanced manual speeches of 5 each. There are about a half a dozen additional speeches that are given as a part of getting the Competent Leader Manual. You have to serve as a club officer for 6 months. You have to serve as a district officer for a year. That is what all of these people have accomplished. And let me tell you, you can do it too. If there's any way that I can help you achieve this goal, even if the only thing you've done is give your first speech, I'd be glad to help you. There are plenty of us up here who are willing to mentor you through this process, and we want to see it happen, Christina. We want to see it happen. Thank you all, ladies and gentlemen. I have been asked to tell you something about the silent auction. Would somebody remind me what I'm supposed to say? Christina's going to come up and talk about the silent auction. I hope you didn't bid against me because I would be sad. Ladies and gentlemen, our co-chair, Christina McNutt.
Now that I have the stage all to myself, let's announce some winners. Auction number 12.